Chicago.
This is Alternative Facts Chicago. We are at episode 50. It is an amazing day. Before we get started, if you hear something at the very beginning of the episode, B, what the heck? Do we have a new theme song for the show?
We have a song. It's my first song.
Is it?
Well, I never had a theme song before.
There we go, and it's actually for our 50th episode special. We finally have a new theme song for Alternative Facts Chicago, so that's great. And it's our 50th episode, so before we get to this, because we're actually going to pop some champagne here in a minute. This is B.Hun B.Chan. We're back again. How are you, B?
I'm good. How are you?
I feel absolutely elated, amazing. This is a great day. Many people out there did not think we would get to 50th episodes, and we made it.
And I made it with you.
I know, and you've been here for some of the ride, not for all of the ride.
A lot of the ride.
But I will admit that once you came onto the show, everything got bigger and better, and the show is doing awesome. We have been ranked on iTunes. We've had plenty of live shows. We have a lot more announcements to come. We've been out at events, music festivals. We're just doing a lot of things outside of this podcast alone, so it's actually been great to see. And I want to thank you, B.Chan, for being part of it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for our listeners, I say all the time, who welcomed me to an existing show and have given me a lot of love, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do really quick before we get started, we got to pop some champagne for 50 episodes, right?
Ready?
Let's do it. There you go, and the champagne is going everywhere. As long as you don't get on your phone.
But it's not on any equipment.
There you go.
Don't worry.
It's all good. So once again, to the fans of Alternative Facts Chicago, we really thank you. Like I said, a lot of people didn't think we'd be here. It's been a long ride. It's been a great ride. We have 50 more episodes to come and beyond. So first of all, I do want to thank our previous co-host, Bobby. He's the man. Shouts out to Bobby for getting us where we are today. Also to Mystery Street Recording, where we are today to record this 50th episode.
Who doesn't mind that I just got champagne all over their table?
It's all good. We thank you for hosting our show. We've been here for a lot of episodes as well. Thank you all, our family, our friends, our fans of the show, our new fans of the show, everyone that supported us along the way and helped us get to where we are, and of course the city of Chicago. We do this for you, so we would not be here without all of you as well. So we're gonna get started. We actually have an amazing special guest for our 50th episode. We will be announcing her in just a little bit, but before that, I think we should announce our social media and get to it, right?
Let's get to it.
All right, so my Twitter is B.Hun1984. Your Twitter is?
My Twitter and Instagram is Starbright312.
And my Instagram is B.Hun1984. Once again, you can always email us questions, alternativefactschicago@gmail.com, sponsorship ideas, show B&B or business tips and ideas as well too. Also, our iTunes, Alternative Facts Chicago. Please keep subscribing. Please leave a rating and review if you have not yet, to all of our new fans. Also, we're on SoundCloud, Google Play, and YouTube as well. You can always find us on Facebook and Instagram at Alternative Facts Chicago. Did I get everything on that?
I think that's it.
I think that is it. So we've had a crazy couple of weeks. The summer's just getting started. We've had a blast, and it's only the middle or toward the end of June right now. So this past weekend, we actually got a chance to go to Puerto Rican Fest. It was our first time ever. I had a blast. B, give them a rundown of Puerto Rican Fest.
We had such a good time. Shout out to Mike, who had us, showed us the way of the Puerto Ricans. I had people coming up to me speaking Spanish. I didn't know what they were saying, but I felt very welcomed. It was awesome. It was in Humboldt Park. We got to experience some of the food. B can tell you about the food that he ate. I had a pina colada and a pineapple, which was really all I was concerned about. There was awesome music, lots of people dancing, having a good time. It was so hot. As soon as we walked in, it was like you were just sweating.
We were all sweating.
It was kind of disgusting. But actually, it was an awesome time. So thank you for Mike for having us. City of Chicago put on an awesome festival. They had a parade. It was great. So it was awesome to get out and experience that and celebrate Puerto Rican culture.
Thanks, Mike, for having us out. He actually has been a previous guest on Alternative Facts Chicago. You can always find it on iTunes or whatnot, the previous episode he was on. Good dude, great for the city, born and raised in the city of Chicago, so he knows exactly where the city has been and where it wants to go. So thank you, Mike, for having us. I cannot think of what I ate right now. It was like an acapurio or something like that. I'm totally butchering this right now. Do you remember what I ate?
That's like what it was called, and neither one of us knew what it was.
I'm sorry. It was good, though.
It was good. Yeah, Mike was asking the people around us, and they thought we were crazy because we never had it. it, but it was awesome.
If you know what you think I said, can you please just like tweet us or email us?
It had corn in it for sure.
It was something, but it was great. Maybe Mike can help us out because I can't remember right now.
Yeah, it was awesome though.
Puerto Rican Fest was a great time. Thank you, Mike, for having us out as well. So now this weekend, we got something else going on. And Spring Awakening was a couple of weeks ago. Festival season in Chicago is ramping up. We're in full blast. And this weekend is Mamby on the beach. So if you actually never have been to a music festival on the beach, you need to try it because it's absolutely awesome. It's a lot of fun. And who does not like to party on the beach? Would you actually party on the beach, B?
I would party on the beach. Actually, also this weekend, let me just shout out our boy Chris. Green Curtain Events is having a throwback 90s party.
I didn't know that.
Yes, I was eyeing it. I can't remember where it is. But check out Green Curtain Events. It's on Saturday the 23rd. It's a 90s throwback party.
Okay.
It's not at North Avenue Beach, but something like that, and it looks awesome.
Well, after you get done with that, Chris, come see us at Mamby on the Beach because Alternative Facts Chicago will be in the house. I'm actually pretty excited for it. Usually it's a lot of dance music, which actually is in this festival as well. But this year they kind of switched it up and have added more hip-hop.
Common.
Which actually I like. And like you mentioned, Common is headlining, I think, Saturday night, I believe it is.
I think so.
Russ actually is headlining Sunday as well. I think Duke DeMont's there, who I actually like a lot and enjoy. Grizzly Bear's there, just to name a few. So it's actually back this weekend. If you are in the area, make sure you come see me, come say hi. I'll definitely have Alternative Facts Chicago, our tank top on, which has actually been a hit. We actually got to get more. We're actually in the works of getting more to sell right now.
B has been wearing that tank top for days straight. I don't know if he's washing it.
It's been a hit so far. So
yeah, it's a good show.
I'm going to wear it all summer.
I know
so
you
I'm
are.
in the face. So once again, Mamby on the Beach is this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. If you can come out, if you need ticket information, we have posted all the links as well on social media. So you can always make sure to find it on there. And we look forward to seeing you this weekend. Festival season is the best season to me in all of Chicago and all of the country. It's just a lot of fun. And we got to make sure we get you to a festival before the summer's over, B.
Maybe when it's a little cooler.
I don't know. Yeah, I know you in the heat, but that's the best time to be. So everyone's just in a good mood. The best thing about a festival, everyone's in a good mood. It's just a lot of fun. The music, you can drink. There's just a lot to do. It's just good vibes, good entertainment. So.
All right. Until then, you use my ticket for somebody else to go, so that's good anyway. You're welcome.
Absolutely. So it's always a great time. But before we get to our topics, do you want to get into our fan of the week?
We have to. It's the best part of the show.
Who is it?
Our fan of the week is two. It's kind of like when we had Miles and Crawford. It is the Dad's Talking Shit podcast. Excuse me.
What a name.
B.Hun always tells me not to swear. But it's actually...
It's a PG-rated show.
It's actually their name. And Decatur and Franco are the Dad's Talking Shit. They do have a podcast. You can find them on Twitter. It's at DTS_podcast. They have been fans of the show for a while. I know they reached out to us prior to us doing our live show at the Beat Kitchen. We talked to them, got to know them a little bit. They've been doing their show since January. And so they were looking to meet up with other podcasts in Chicago. So they came to our live show at the Beat Kitchen. We got to meet them. We had an awesome time with them. Anyway, they rock with our show every week. They're always tweeting us their thoughts. They're always trying to argue with me. They're calling me out on their podcast. But we love them anyway. So thank you to you guys for always listening, giving your feedback, supporting us. We love you. And we wouldn't be here without all of our fans. But this week, the fan of the week, the Dad's Talking Shit.
Yeah, they're good guys. They're actually, like I say, newer to the podcast game, but they work hard. Definitely following their movement. We'll definitely be doing some work with them in the future. So keep grinding, fellas. Keep pushing. Keep working hard. And remember that someone is always watching you guys. So keep up the hard work. And they do it to me too. They talk crap to me too. But hey, I take it in stride. Hey, it's all good. I'll see them one day. Yeah, they never say it in person, so it's all good.
Yeah, that's right.
No, it's all love. Those are good guys. So shouts out to Dad's Talking Shit. They are our fan of the week. And briefly on Mamby at the beach, I forgot to list the location. It's actually on Oakwood Beach. I know people just going somewhere where they don't know where it is. So make sure you check it out. It's at Oakwood Beach, Saturday and Sunday, June 23rd and 24th.
My birthday weekend.
Yeah. Happy birthday. It's on this Friday. So yeah, if you see B.Chan on social media, make sure you wish her a happy birthday on this Friday.
For a few more days, me and B.Hun are the same age. So don't let him make you think I'm old.
So you're always older than me, B.
Always. And wiser. Okay, let's move on, yeah?
There you go. You can have that one.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So our first topic today that we have to talk about, because it seems what everyone's talking about, is the World Cup. It kicked off, and there's been lots of excitement around it, lots of fun, lots of surprises. And so what do you think's going on, B?
All right, so let it be known I'm not a huge soccer fan. And
What?
I'm not a huge soccer fan, but I actually do try to make sure I watch the World Cup. The 4 years ago when the United States actually made it, I really, really made a point to watch it. It was a huge deal. Like, you actually got to leave work. All the bars were slammed for all the USA games. So it made me really realize that, you know, the World Cup is just something cool to see. It's something to be a part of. And, you know, seeing a few games this week made me realize, like, how in the heck is the United States not in the World Cup this year? I saw Japan, and no offense to Japan, but those guys are just really, really short. I'm like, how did they make the World Cup?
It's not basketball.
But it's still, like, it's just the United States. Like, how is the United States, we're supposed to be the best in the world, like, how are we not in the World Cup? That was, like, the biggest surprise to me. It just made me realize we have a lot of work to do before the 2026 World Cup, when it's in North America, to actually make a name for ourselves and be relevant. The United States needs to be in the World Cup. And that's, like, this. It's why it's not as enjoyable for me, because of the fact the United States is not in the World Cup. But I will say, in terms of the best games that I've seen so far, obviously the first Spain-Portugal game was absolutely amazing. It was awesome. Ronaldo, amazing. I think he's already got 4 goals in 2 games right now. His team won today. So that was a big game. Obviously, I'm sure you're going to hit on this too as well. The biggest surprises, obviously, are all the upsets or lack of teams that are winning, such as Brazil, you know, tied their game. Who else had lost? I think Germany lost to Mexico, which was absolutely crazy, because we were with people that were actually, like, crying when Mexico won. So it's actually just shows me that the World Cup is a huge deal for a lot of these people.
Well, I knew you'd bring up Germany since they were my pick to win.
You did.
But with that said, let me tell you a fun fact. Germany has not lost their opening game in 36 years. And the last time that they lost their opening game in 1982, they made it to the finals.
That's incredible.
So Germany still has a chance here. Your Spain is not doing so hot either.
Did I pick Spain?
You picked Spain.
I think I picked Spain and Portugal. And
No,
actually,
you just picked
You know what I
Spain.
did? I picked Spain thinking that Ronaldo was on that team, and I got it wrong. So I'm actually, if I can on wax right now, changing my pick to Portugal. Whatever team Ronaldo's on,
You
that's what I
can't
want to
do
win.
that.
Well, Spain is good, so I'll take them by default. My second team is now Portugal.
You don't get a second team. An interesting thing about Ronaldo, too, he scored his 85th goal, international goal, which made him the top scorer for any European nation.
Be with the fun facts today.
Yeah, you like that?
Absolutely. Another big story was that Argentina, they tied as well. Messi messed up at the end, so I know that was a big deal.
Yeah, they were playing Iceland, and it is Iceland's first World Cup ever. Did you know
And
that?
I did not. You with the fun facts. Of course I didn't know that.
Now you do.
And then the biggest thing was that Russia is 2-0. I know they're hosting right now, and obviously they won 2 games in a row. Never really thought Russia to be really good at soccer, so obviously they got their mojo on their side right now too. So
You didn't know them to be good at soccer because, fun fact,
oh my god,
they were the lowest ranked team in the whole tournament.
they were. I saw something like them in Saudi Arabia, who actually
They beat Saudi
so
Arabia.
so hot either. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm like. How did Saudi Arabia make this? The United States didn't make it.
How did Iceland make
I
this?
have absolutely no idea. We really choked that one. But knowing that, I actually am rooting for Mexico. I think it'd be a cool story if they can make it very far. Germany is definitely not out of this tournament by any means. I mean, obviously, when you're in pool play, you get a lot of games. So as long as Germany doesn't lose again, I think they'll be okay. But obviously, I think Portugal is on a run right now. Argentina will be there. Brazil didn't look so well for how good they are. Maybe they just had a poor start, but I think they'll actually will be okay. So there's still a lot of heavy hitters right now, but I do like the fact that there were a lot of upsets. There are a lot of surprises. It just makes the World Cup more interesting, and I'm actually a fan of watching it. And like I said, United States, please get it together.
You got a lot of heat from people last week when you were talking about United States soccer being perennial underachievers because you were discounting the women.
I know. I always get yelled at for discounting women on this show, so I'm gonna shut up this time.
That's a good plan.
There we go. But
all right.
It's all good. USA women's soccer is great though. But right now we're talking about the men.
All right, that's right.
And the men have to get better. So are you still, after 1 week, still predicting Germany? Is that still your pick?
I have to, yeah.
There we go. That'll be okay. But I'm obviously,
you're
since
still
you're
picking
making me
Spain.
pick Spain, but deep down, everyone, I really want Portugal to win. So
It is no one's fault that you did not know who your player played for.
it's all good though. It sounds good. Anything else in the World Cup?
No,
before
it's
we get out of
exciting,
here?
so everybody have fun watching, and we'll recap again next week.
Are you excited and ready to get to our special guest soon?
I am so excited.
Before we do that, though, I think we need to pay some bills and say what's up to our sponsors.
Let's do it.
First, shouts out to Better Government Association. We won't get to mention them or play their commercial at the beginning since we have our new theme song, which is way more important right now. But also, too, shouts out to the Wrigley Report. This part of the episode is sponsored by the Wrigley Report. Cubs fans, if you are looking for the latest Wrigley renovations, updates, team news, player analysis, and overall Cubs news, look no further than Wrigley Report, your number one source for all Chicago Cub news. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at their handle, The Wrigley Report. And then, before we get to our special guest, there's more music festivals coming up. It's just like the summer music festivals. So I feel like I have to mention a festival coming up called Common Ground in Lansing. Have you heard of it before, B?
I have not.
Would you actually go to it? Have you actually, first of all, have you actually been to Lansing, Michigan ever?
I've been probably through it. I've been to Michigan plenty of times. I've never stopped in Lansing.
Fun fact, did you know Lansing is the capital of Michigan?
I do. I know all the capitals of all 50 United States.
Name them. No, actually, I'm kidding. Do not name them. Could you actually just name them off right now?
I probably could. I could sing all 50 states in alphabetical order.
What a nerd.
What a nerd. Nobody wants to hear it, but I will do it for you one day.
One day. Well, I'll hold you to that. You get wasted, and then we'll see if you can sing.
I could still sing the states.
There we go. So Common Ground. Actually, I love Lansing. A lot of my best friends from college. I went to Central Michigan. Fire Up Chips.
Antonio Brown.
There we go.
Business is booming.
A lot of them actually are from Lansing, so I get to venture quite a bit. My homies Tom and Michael Mays, Green Wave, they're Lansing based too as well. So I get to frequent Lansing a lot, and I will actually be there for that weekend. It's actually a pretty good festival. They've had Common Ground for many, many years, different genres for different nights. This year they're having Halsey headline, Logic's headlining one of the nights, Gucci Mane's headlining one of the nights. For the country fans, if we have any country fans at Alternative Back Chicago. But actually, I don't know if we do or not. I think Kip Moore, which I'm not sure who that is, he's headlining one of the nights. Do you know who Kip Moore is?
I don't, and I like a little country, and I don't know who that is.
There you go. And that's going to be there. Your boy Kevin Gates is going to be there.
I do like Kevin Gates, and I actually like Halsey. I bet she's kind of fun.
She can sing. T-Pain's going to be there. Jesse Ray is going to be there. DJ Jazzy Jeff's going to be there.
I would go for DJ Jazzy Jeff.
So it's actually a really good festival. So shouts out to Common Ground. You can get tickets on their website, commongroundfest.com. We do have a 10% off code that I will be putting on social media very soon. So you'll have that as well, too. And like I said, I will be there for that weekend with Alternative Fest Chicago, which is good to mix states, with Chicago and Illinois and Michigan as well. Me being from Detroit, having roots there. So I'm very, very excited to get to Common Ground. So it is July, I think, 5th through the 8th of that weekend. So if you see Alternative Fact Chicago, make sure you get out there and say hello.
Yeah, we will not have a show that week.
I know, it's 4th of July week, so it's all good. We haven't had a break all year, so I think it'll be a good time to take a week off.
Yeah, and we travel at the same times, which is weird.
Hey, it's life. It's all good.
Okay.
Let's get to our very special guest. You ready?
We have to. I'm really excited.
I'm very excited, too. And the funny story is... I know we were mentioning before we went on the air, just in the studio in the back, that we've been trying to get her on the episode for quite a while. I know I had reached out at, I think, early 2018, because I've been following her movement, follow what she does, and I was like, she would be a good person to feature on Alternative Fact Chicago this year in 2018. So reached out. Of course, she's way too busy for us. So
traveling the world.
It took months. I think when I reached out in February, she was like, I'm busy. I'd come on the show in June or July or something like that.
And we said, okay, we'll wait.
Yeah, we said we'll wait for you. So it's all good. So this person is Chicago-based, and we always try to keep our show for Chicago. So this person's also very big in the fashion industry in Chicago, and we always like to touch on all genres as well, too, both male and female, whether sports, music, fashion, or whatnot, too. So we want to welcome to the show. We have some great questions for you. I know you're going to be great on the show as well, too. So welcome, Jena Gambaccini, to Alternative Fact Chicago.
Thank you for having me. And let me just say, I really was traveling. I wasn't just like, I have too much to do. I was traveling a lot this spring, but I am happy to be here.
She's busy and high in demand, and so we're thankful to have her.
No, not high in demand. I literally just needed to get out of Chicago for the weather.
At least been I have some work to do overseas, so I'll be busy, but...
Right. Yeah, it's always a little bit of work, a little bit of play.
There you go.
It's a good balance. Yeah. I have to tell you, you are only the second woman to be on this show. And the first woman guest. When I came on as a co-host, I was the first woman guest or host ever on the show. So now you're only the second.
You are the very first woman guest on the show. I didn't even think about it. These are fun facts. You're killing it today.
The future is female.
That's right,
there
Jena.
We go.
That's right. So I have to tell you, when we were talking about having you on here and we were talking about guests, B would always say, the fashion girl, the fashion girl.
That was you.
That was you. And so he'd say, the fashion girl's busy, whatever. So we're really excited to have you. We need style tips. We need fashion help, right?
No, but I'm always good to take more tips, more advice. I appreciate that.
It's always good to learn and grow, right?
I'm always down to learn something new and grow.
That's right. B doesn't care about anything fashion.
We do thank you, though, for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
This feels very official.
It is official. It's like...
Not the way I did it, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. We'll cover that. We are excited to have you. We have been following your movement, Shy City Fashion. I wanted to say it right. And your focus on the fashion that we do have here in Chicago. We want to know, are you from Chicago originally, and what made you choose to focus on fashion here versus other fashion cities like New York or somewhere else?
Yeah, so I am from the suburbs here. I'm from Northbrook, although I just feel like I'm a city girl at heart anyway. I've always been interested in fashion, but I could never draw or sew, so I was like, I didn't think I could really make a career out of it. We'll get more to how I started in a bit. But as far as wanting to focus on Chicago, when I started my blog, there were no city-specific blogs at that time. I feel like, I mean, this was in 2009, so at the time it was probably just some personal style blog. So I always want to like do something different, do something that not everyone else is doing. So I obviously like only knew Chicago, so that's why I made it Chicago focused. And at the time too, like when I was graduating college, people were like, well, if you want to get into fashion, you have to move to New York or LA. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to prove you all wrong.
That's awesome.
So, and I too have met so many people over the years who, I mean, really in the beginning that felt the same way, that really wanted to see a fashion presence here, but didn't really know, like, we don't have like a garment district. We don't really have the resources to sustain designers, which is unfortunate. So a lot of times when the designers do start here, they move. But it's been so cool just to see the fashion community and just the creative community in general here grow. And being a part of that has just been extremely rewarding.
That's awesome. So by following you, we know that you started all of this by stalking, your own words, not mine, celebrities on Twitter. How did it evolve from stalking celebrities on Twitter to what you're doing today?
So, like I said, I started in 2009. So at the time, Twitter was such a big deal that all these celebrities were on Twitter. And before that, if you wanted to get celebrity news, you had to like watch it on TV or read Us Magazine. So like you could literally just kind of get this inside scoop yourself. And it was really exciting at the time. So that's why I signed up. And then I noticed there was a pretty big fashion presence on Twitter. There were designers, magazines, stylists, other brands. And I was like, kind of like the celebrity news, my only way into fashion previously were fashion magazines. So I just felt like I had this like insider access. Obviously everyone else did, but It was very exciting at the time. And once I started following those fashion people, I was like, you know what? I feel like I could share these types of things. Like I think I have like some valuable thoughts and opinions about like style tips or fashion news. So I started tweeting those things. I didn't tweet for quite some time. It takes a lot of courage. And then I built a bit of a following doing that. And people would be like, hey, do you have a blog? Where can I see more? And I was like, blog? Like, no way I can make a website. Like, never been tech savvy, but I made a free WordPress template and Shy City Fashion was born.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. I love to see people start something from absolutely nothing. And that's kind of like what you did. And now I've seen your social media, like Instagram and Twitter. You have quite a bit of followers.
But also, too, you have to think, I've been on this for a long time. You know, it's not like I just start. It's funny because people who started more recently actually have more followers because they're a lot more strategic about things.
Right.
But I'm like old school at this point, which is like ridiculous to say that for whatever. But I haven't really been like that. So, I've never really been good about like using hashtags and like, I don't know, people like buy followers and they do all that. I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to do me. And like if you're into it, cool. If you're not, like that's cool too. I'm not trying to like cater to everyone.
I feel like buying followers doesn't get you anywhere. Like,
no, and that's
also
like
support.
It does.
Really?
Yeah. I've like learned all this a lot more recently, like because I feel like I'm so out of touch with like the current blogging situation so I learned all this like maybe 2-3 years ago, and I was like, oh my god, I had no idea people did this, but everyone knows it, like except me. So I was like, oh,
but your followers then are really organic and they're there for you, which is
totally
should make you feel really good.
Yeah, no, I have I've been really lucky with my followers because I I mean, like, knock on wood, haven't
Right.
had any hater situations. I mean, I haven't.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially
I
in
know.
social media.
I know, right? So I'm like, oh, well, must be doing something right. So
That's right.
Thanks for not hating.
So did you know that
Continue.
fashion was something that you always wanted to do with your career, or how did this come about?
So, like I said, I've always been interested in it. I mean, even when I was a kid, like, I loved to play dress up. I loved to dress my Barbies. My Barbies had, like, a pretty sick wardrobe, I'm not going to lie. But because like I said, I couldn't draw or sew, I was like, there's no way I could be in fashion because I just thought designer was the only option.
Right.
And when I started my blog, I obviously never thought about doing it full time because that wasn't even an option at the time. I went to a college that didn't have a very or really any creative community, and I'm a creative person, so
What's
I
it
needed
called?
some
Where'd
sort
you
of
go?
outlet. I went to Miami University in Oxford, Ohio.
Okay. Actually, I partied there a couple of times. It's a lot of fun.
It is.
I don't know about the fashion industry, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely did not fit in fashion-wise there. I didn't own Polo or Pearls.
There you go.
So,
That's college town wear.
but if I didn't go there, I mean, I might have never even started my blog. So I really needed
Right.
that outlet. So at
It
the end of the
worked
day,
out.
I'm grateful for it.
That's right.
You kind of touched on it already, but it seems the industry has changed quite a bit since you've been involved in it. What's like one example of how things might have been a few years ago as opposed to now in 2018?
Oh, I wanted to clarify. Do you mean fashion industry or blogging industry? Because I would have two different answers.
I would say let's do fashion industry.
Okay, so fashion, especially with Fashion Week, that was something that we would see, 2 collections a year on the runways, fall and spring. And those collections, though, wouldn't actually come out into stores until like 6 months later.
Okay.
But because of social media and all the bloggers and Instagrammers and whoever at these shows, they're all posting this stuff in real time. By the time it would come out in stores, people were over it.
Right.
So a lot of designers have changed the way they do things, that they're, it was a big phrase maybe 2-3 years ago, see now, buy now. So a lot of the designers were showing the collections on the runway and then offering them anywhere from, that week to maybe like a month or two later. Because, with social media, I mean, this is with any industry, like people just want that instant gratification, and fashion was just taking too long. So that's definitely been an interesting thing to see.
Awesome.
That is interesting, and how social media really changes all kind.
Everything.
I wouldn't think that social media would really change the fashion industry, but things like that you don't even think of.
Definitely.
We all know that there's trends that we love or we love to hate or our comfort zone. What things are going on in fashion right now, trends that you just think are cringeworthy?
So there's this one I'm going to try to describe this. I see it a lot on Instagram. This is not because it's a crop top. I actually like crop tops only with high-waisted things, but they're really short. I'm talking like just under the boob, and then they're smocked, and I don't like anything smocked because it reminds me of like things that I wore in probably like 6th grade. It's almost like that ruching, and then it'll be like off the shoulder as well, and I've seen it in some swimsuits. It's okay, but when they're tops, it's just, I don't know. It's just like it's not doing it for me. I know that's really specific,
Yeah,
but
no, that's good.
I just like see them everywhere. Just like if you look at like any fashion bloggers on Instagram, especially in the summer, like while traveling, you'll see this one top.
And now when we see it, because we're probably like a month or two behind real fashion people, maybe 3 months, we're going to see it in a few months, and we're going to
Definitely.
remember you talking about it.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about festivals in a little bit, but in terms
Oh, I
of like
can't wait.
in terms of outfits, isn't there like different outfits and trends? Like what's the trend of 2018 for women at music festivals? I know there's various trends that we always go on.
Okay. I don't know if this is a trend or just something that I'm preferring, but historically, I'm using air quotes here, I feel like girls always wore sort of bohemian styles to music festivals.
Yep.
Either that or they're just wearing like a bathing suit top and jean shorts. But if you're really like putting an outfit together,
Right.
Like that very like Coachella flower crown sort of look. But I kind of feel like things are moving a little more like streetwear,
Yep.
a little more sporty. Again, that's kind of my style, so it could just be like me wearing these things. But from what like other people I see in other pictures I see, like I'm definitely not the only one. So I think that's kind of cool, and But I love seeing what people wear, even if it's something I would never wear. Like people, that's one of my favorite things about festivals is that people like, they just do them and they don't care what anyone thinks. And I'm like, awesome. You do you. Yeah.
Seriously, I love it. That's why I love festivals. You can be almost anyone you want for that time frame.
Things got weird at Movement, which I liked.
That's awesome. We'll definitely talk about that. So switching gears briefly, we know from following you on social media that you're a mom. We're actually all...
What? I'm a dog mom, right? Not a...
Right.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Brittany, you didn't tell me.
I thought it was...
Yeah, guys, I mean, I know people listening can't see this, but I literally have my dogs embroidered on my jacket.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to get a picture so we can post that on social media.
There you go. We got to post that on
there.
Well, tell us about your dogs.
Well, first of all, I would love to talk about my dogs. They're also on the cover of my phone case.
Okay, that's a little obsessive, but that's awesome.
I love it. That's why you specifically call yourself a dog mom. That's why I wanted to honor how you wanted to be viewed as a mom.
I'm definitely a dog mom. Both my dogs are from Paws. I've been very involved with them since I got my first dog, Laz. He's the black one. He's a shepherd mix. Then I have a white boxer mix who's deaf, and his name is Lennox. They are my everything, and I don't know what I would do without them. And I'm just like a huge advocate for dog adoption. Even though it's funny, I feel like everyone I know now has purebred dogs, and I mean, I don't hate them for it, but for me, like, I just want to, like, the reason I wanted a dog was to give them a better life, not just like have a dog to have a dog. And I do like dogs with a little... I do like dogs with like disabilities, or like if they have 3 legs, or like my dog's deaf, or that's how I like my dogs, because I just want to give them a great life.
That's awesome. That's why we wanted to add it in there, and that's why I said, and how did they come into your life?
Now it makes total sense.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Hey, I am known to screw up the things a time or two, so it's okay.
Yeah, that is okay.
Speaking of podcasts, since we're on Alternative Facts Chicago, and I remember when I first started following you, had a podcast or did some podcasting back then. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I had a podcast. I believe I started it in 2015. It was called Fashion Friends, and sort of like my blog, I felt like I was kind of like filling a void in the industry. At the time, there were no fashion podcasts. I even like really looked into it, and I was like, I can't believe this is not a thing, because podcasts are so big, and they were like really blowing up at the time. One of my friends, Jessica Mernan, has an amazing podcast and does everything herself. And she taught me everything from, how to record. I didn't do it in a studio. That's why I was like, oh, this is so professional. Right. I literally have a microphone in my basement. The L tracks are in my backyard, so I had to go in my basement where it was a little quieter. We'd record via Skype. I would edit everything. It would take hours. It was a lot, but I loved doing it. And I was shocked at how many people listened to it immediately. So that was super cool. But why I stopped, it just became too much work. And I was spending so many hours on it and making $0 from it. But it was really fun. I had a new guest on every week that works in a different field in fashion, whether it was like a stylist or someone who has an online clothing store or a PR person. I had a lot of different types of people. So I just kind of I would start the show, kind of like you guys did, just kind of we would talk about like fashion news, and then I'd move into more about them, how they got started, advice they have for people who wanted to get in their field, and it was a good time. It's still on iTunes if you guys want to check it out.
Tell us the name.
Fashion Friends.
Fashion Friends. You should pick it back up and keep doing it.
I know. I gotta get this studio. This is so nice.
Isn't it fun?
It is.
It's really
It's
fun.
just crazy. You have podcasts can be literally about anything, like say fashion podcasts. Dan, our studio, said that there was a real estate podcast earlier today. So this is podcast about any and everything right now. It's crazy.
Well, people have all different interests. I think it's awesome.
I think it's a lane for everybody. I think it's pretty cool.
So we know from your social media that in addition to being passionate about fashion, you're also passionate about food.
I could talk about food forever.
We love to highlight everything amazing about Chicago, including the food. What's some of your favorite restaurants or food spots to eat here?
This was like the one thing I had to take notes on because I have so many, and I was like, I could just really talk about this forever. But these are my top picks for certain categories. My favorite pizza is Spacca Napoli in Ravenswood. The best Neapolitan-style pizza. It literally tastes straight out of Italy. Very simple ingredients and very high quality. Just that's when you know something's good, is when the dishes aren't fancy. They're very simple. They're very simple dishes, but they taste so damn good that it just it doesn't even matter. You don't need all the bells and whistles. For sushi, Kaizen is hands down my number one. I think it's kind of hard to find great sushi in Chicago, and they just nail it every time. Although you can only eat there for an hour and a half, and then they kick you out.
She knows.
You must know.
It's small, and if you don't make it on time for your reservation, you better hurry up. Even though I'm not a big River North person, but I love Ima. I don't know if you guys have been there.
Never been there.
It's a Let Us Entertain You restaurant. It's California Mediterranean, and. Ooh. I try new restaurants all the time, so for me to consistently go back to something is a huge deal, and I go there a lot. They actually, the chef there just opened a new restaurant in West Loop called Abba, and I went there Saturday. It was awesome. Okay. So highly recommend. I've been hitting up Lonesome Rose a lot lately in Logan Square. It looks like they're building a rooftop, which I'm really excited about.
Okay.
They also have a really cool speakeasy sort of drinks place downstairs called Golden Teardrops. It's tiny and super dark, but really cool. And Furious Spoon for ramen. Not only do I love the ramen, but they also play hip hop.
Wow.
That's dope for a restaurant.
Yeah, for a ramen restaurant.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too. Ramen-san, which is also Let Us Entertain You, they play hip hop too, and I do like Ramen-san, but I do like Furious Spoon a little better. So
I should have wrote all those down.
I know. We'll listen back.
I'll send the episode back.
Yes. She'll send us
and
a
then
list.
one more, and then more for special occasion because it's a little more upscale. Proxy, beautiful space, some of the best cocktails I've ever had, and the food is amazing. So highly recommend that place.
We're going to put together a list for anyone listening who's going to be visiting Chicago or in Chicago who hasn't tried these places. These will be Jena's must hits.
Oh, yeah, and also, if anyone listening, if you're coming to Chicago and need recommendations for really anything, but mostly food, hit me up. I love to give recommendations.
Yes, so we'll include all of her contact info so you can hit her up. So we've talked a lot about music festivals. What makes you love them, and what's your favorite festival?
So... one of them is how I just love how everyone can just be themselves. A lot, it's kind of I don't know. I kind of feel like when I go to some of them, not all of them, but people have this "we're all in this together" mentality, and you just get to listen to great music outside all day. Right. What's better than that? And then at ones like Movement in Detroit, which I was at over Memorial Day weekend. Also, that was my 30th birthday.
You were there too, so I know.
Happy
I'm lucky we didn't run into you. That would have been crazy.
Thank you. I just like how. In that situation, people can just be their weird selves, and I love when people get weird, so I'm all about it. My favorite festival right now is actually Mamby. I don't know if you say Mamby, Mamby. On the
Mamby.
beach. What we were just talking about earlier. Granted, I've only been once. I went last year, but I like that it's small. I do prefer the smaller festivals, 3 stages. It's on the beach. It's really chill. I know a lot of people don't like to go to festivals because it's too crowded or it's super young. I didn't feel that way at all. It felt really civil. Yep. And also, I noticed I want to be better about going to activities at festivals. I get so wrapped up in the music, but I looked and they have yoga, volleyball, wellness workshops, a water balloon fight. They even have a doggy dome this year with adoptable dogs. Uh-huh. So I'm I appreciate when people kind of add other stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. It's tough though sometimes. Like you said, you're so engrossed in the music and drinking and being with your friends. You should go very early in the day and actually make a day of it, almost like an event.
I'm gonna try and go a little early on Saturday to try and check out some of those things. But later, if you need me, I'll be at Common and I'm not leaving till he's over.
I don't blame you. That's where I would be.
I'll definitely be at Common too. It's actually pretty dope that he's headlining.
Yeah, cool. Chicago guy.
I do like Mamby because it's more of a mature vibe, a mature crowd audience. As opposed to a Spring Awakening when I went there, it was 18 to 20-year-olds central.
But I know I was telling you, I've never been to Spring Awakening, but part of me wants to go. I don't love all that music. I like some of it, but I would want to go to People Watch for sure.
It's amazing. But they do have a 21 and up area. They have a VIP area.
Oh, they do?
Oh, yeah. So you're not, obviously, and it's cool. It's not that bad by any means.
But maybe it's a problem that
you
they
can
have
do
to
your
have
own thing. Yeah, they let people who are more mature be to the side and do their own thing. But it's very interesting.
They only give VIP to 21 up.
I need a 30 and up VIP. That's where I would be.
Last question for you. What kinds of growth and goals do you have for Chi City Fashion going forward?
Well, that's a great question. I'm like the worst person to ask those things when people are like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I'm just like, I don't know, wherever life takes me. But everything I've done with Chi City Fashion has been super organic, maybe even too organic, because as you can tell from our conversation, I'm not much of a strategist, at least with my own brand. Like if I worked for someone else or were doing this for someone else, I would have a whole different mentality. But I'm hoping that I've built enough trust with my followers that I can expand into other categories. And I think I have, and I'm like slowly doing it a lot with music, food, wellness. So I actually have been debating if I should change the name or if I should just kind of make it my name. Because Chi City Fashion is so specific to fashion, you know? So I don't know. I'm really torn. I've had it for so long. It's like so much a part of me. So TBD. Tweet.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Hope we get the inside scoop if you change your name.
Yeah.
You'll be the first to know. You'll get the exclusive.
We will keep our listeners posted so they'll know where to find you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're actually going to have you stay on for a couple of more topics. Before we get to that, do you want to plug out your social media and where can everyone find you?
Oh, me.
You.
Yes. Yeah, so my website is chycityfashion.com. Chi City as in Chicago. I thought that was really obvious when I first made it, but then when I would travel, I realized like people from not Chicago don't know what it is. So they think it's like chic city fashion or chai city fashion. I just thought it was like the most obvious name, and obviously it's not. So that's my website, and then I'm at Chi City Fashion on everything else.
And we will plug her when we post everything on social media. So you can follow us to follow her. You will know where to find Jena.
Absolutely. So our next segment we're going to be doing is we always do every now and again. It's called Show B&B Your Business. And for those who have not listened to the episode before, we just have our fans email us questions, tweet us questions on relationship or anything that we want to know or we want to talk about. And for some reason they care to know your and my expertise advice, which is probably terrible, but we give it anyway. So
I think they probably want to know so that they know exactly what not to do.
Probably. Yes, I agree.
So this was from a listener of ours, and he was wondering our opinion on kind of the state of things today, if we think in 2018 chivalry is dead. So Jena, do you want to tell us what you think?
I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, so I feel like it's funny because I hear from like certain friends, that they have, really bad luck with dating because guys are assholes. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear. Sorry.
Too late now.
Maybe edit that
out. Sorry, Mom.
But I mean, obviously not everyone is like that. And I just think that with everything that's been happening in Hollywood or just like the entertainment industry, I think a lot of people are thinking that. But at the same time, I think between what happened with that and what, that and amongst other things has sort of led to this whole like future is female feminism movement. I personally think that women just aren't going to put up with it anymore. So chivalry basically cannot be dead. And I know some really amazing dudes out there. And from my experience, I definitely don't think it's dead. But you also have to, you have to be patient, find those guys. If you have respect for yourself, they'll respect you.
I think it's a great point.
Well, I'll say in the city of Chicago, I've seen a lot of women get chewed up and spit out, not by me specifically, but I've seen some horror stories of dating in Chicago. I've lived there for 9 years. I will say in the city of Chicago, chivalry is dead. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the guys. I'm just going to call the guys out. It is what it is. Guys really just don't care. And I've seen a lot of guys out here, they just, honestly, they really don't care. I don't know if it's just that it's just so many women in the city of Chicago, they just have so many options, they really just don't care about that. I think guys have just really lost the aspect of truly like dating and courting a woman. That's just what I've seen in Chicago over the years. I'm not talking about me specifically or any friend that I know specifically. I'm just saying what I see overall.
Apparently you are, and I bet he knows who he is.
And I will say this because I have a lot of girls that are friends, and they've told me some horror stories, and I just got to say, I'm sorry, girl. I don't know. I'm sorry for guys as a whole. And I will say a big reason of why this might be is because the social media age. I think we've lost the aspect of communication. Obviously, everything is through a text message. You can like tweet everything. You can send a Facebook message. I think people have just really lost the art of communicating, actually talking to people, socializing with like Tinder, Bumble, all these dating apps. You don't even really meet a lot of these women until you actually see them in person. You get into a face-to-face conversation, and you don't necessarily even know what to talk about. A lot of times, like a lot of my friends, they meet more people off Tinder, Bumble, or any dating site, and actually going out to the bar and actually like meeting a woman there too. So I just think overall, like times have just changed, and the art of communication has changed to where it's taken the chivalry aspect down quite a bit. I know you were expecting a worse answer from me. That wasn't so bad, B.
No, that was
a good answer.
That was a good answer.
Thank you.
I think I'm more hopeful. I am not single, so I think I look at it more from a perspective that I was telling B.Hun this. I hooked up one of my girlfriends with one of his friends, and it's like you think everyone's a good, like, nice guys. You're like, oh, he's a great fit. Where girls are like, oh, well, maybe not. When you're not looking is when you see all the really nice guys. I think when you're looking is when you don't necessarily come across them.
Right.
Because maybe your perspective is different. I don't know. So I do think that there are a lot of really nice guys. I think sometimes as women, we're so focused on being independent. I am. On believing we can do everything for ourselves because I can. And so I think sometimes that turns guys off from wanting to be that chivalrous type person, because the attitude for some of us is, I don't need you because I can do it myself.
Right.
And that puts men in a really hard position to understand where the balance of that is. And for me personally, as I grew up, I had to learn to say, I don't need you to do things for me, but I like you to do things for me. And I think it's a hard balance for women, especially when you're meeting someone and just starting to date. So I think sometimes as women, we have to be accepting to those things, that when men are offering those chivalrous type things, it's not a expectation that you can't do it yourself. It's that they want to do it for you. But I think there's still good guys out there.
There's definitely some good guys out there. There's a lot more independent women out there, like you said, you mentioned Jena. So I think that helps too. And I think a lot of guys are intimidated by the art of the independent woman. So
we know B.Hun is.
Hey.
Speaking of independent women.
What a good segue.
I had to do it.
Oh.
That's your like podcast.
She's a natural here.
Were you going to say that?
No, I actually wasn't. So
not.
actually kudos to you. That was awesome.
Jenna, why don't you lead us into our next topic?
Oh, well. Now we're going to talk about the new JayZ and Beyonce album.
That's
and their tour. Wait, they just toured together, right?
Yeah, they've done one
just
before.
started.
Now they're doing another one.
Got it.
Which tickets are mad expensive for.
But it just started, right?
I mean, how can they not be? Like, I feel like an individual Beyonce or JayZ concert would be expensive, and put them together, and it's just like, it just blows my mind that this album came out. Well, first of all, I'm shocked it took this long for them to make an album together.
Yep.
But they just, sometimes when I think about them, I'm just like, it's too much. Like, how did two people like this talented get together and they reproduced? Like, what is going to happen with Blue and the Twins?
They got like super kids.
But I mean, if they don't have superpowers, like, I can't.
Very much so.
But I did like how Blue had a little cameo in one of the songs.
She's got some swag too already.
I really liked the album though, and I think we were talking before. I like Beyonce. I respect what she does. I'm not as obsessed with her as most people are. I used to be really obsessed with JayZ though. But I love this album, and I really like, did you guys watch the music video?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I was really into that. I also really like music videos, so that was that definitely did it for me. But I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but Ape Shit is my favorite. That and Boss are my favorite songs on the album.
I liked Ape Shit also, but the last song, I was just trying to look at what the name of it, Love Happy. That was the one like about their relationship. It was so honest. It was so raw. It was so about the struggles that they had. Like, I couldn't believe I was actually listening to Beyonce singing about this, acknowledging the really hard things that they've been through and got through, but it wasn't sugarcoating it. And it was like, I'm like, I can't believe, like, coming right from them. I just thought it was beautiful. I'm a Beyonce-ish fan. I loved Lemonade. I know we hate when we have to put similar women up against each other, but I always have, and I've always been more of a Rihanna fan than Beyonce. But Lemonade did it for me, and this like pushed it over the edge for me with Beyonce. So yeah, but that last song, it was crazy. I was like, she's really singing about this. This is really real. I thought it was beautiful. I expect Beyonce fans to like it more than JayZ fans because I felt like it was a little more her lane than his. But I thought it showed the growth in her when you think about from Destiny's Child to her when she first came out solo to this. It's unreal, her versatility. So I liked it.
I'm pretty surprised that you came on here and said that you like Rihanna better than Beyonce. So, for all the Beyhive fans...
It's like you don't know me at all, B.
All the Beyhive fans that listen, the thoughts and opinions are of B.Chan and not of me. Please do not kill us on Twitter. The Beyhive, they don't mess around.
I just
Especially
said...
with the Rihanna-Beyonce thing, they don't mess around. I didn't say that she did. Her Twitter is what again? Starbright312. Please come at her, not at me. But I will say that the album actually was really good. It was kind of like a trilogy of the 3 albums with Lemonade and the 444. So it's finally had to come together. We knew it was going to happen. Thought it was a really good album. It had a mature vibe. I know everyone's favorite is Ape Shit. It wasn't my favorite, obviously, because it doesn't really have that vibe. It completely sounded like a Migos song that was just remade for JayZ and Beyonce.
Which I think it was.
Yeah, I think it actually was. It was
a
reference track. When I heard it the first time, I was like, oh my God, I get the ad-libs definitely sound like Migos. So,
yeah.
But actually, I mean, it was cool. I liked it. It wasn't my favorite song, though, but it's definitely something you can vibe out in the summer, too, as well.
I can definitely vibe out.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure I will be when I hear it out at the club or somewhere this summer. So I'm not.
You might be going ape shit.
I will be going ape shit. Actually, exactly. I like Friends. I think the whole vibe, it actually flowed very well. The production was great. JayZ sounded more smooth on this song as opposed to 444. Yeah. I don't know, maybe he took some flack for some of his rapping in the last one, so you can tell he cleaned that up on this one. Obviously, JayZ is a legend. He's probably maybe the greatest of all time. So Beyonce is too. And I think she can rap better than a lot of these rappers out here. When she decides to rap, I don't know, I'm sure she doesn't write her own lyrics, but definitely when she raps, I'm like, it actually sounds kind of believable. So.
No, and I told someone, she does that growl, and I'm like...
Something. I'm like, damn, girl.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
It's like, is there anything you can't do?
Right,
like,
yeah.
That's what I'd like to know.
Yeah, she is like perfect. So
she is perfect.
Overall, I think it was a great album. Are you guys going to go to her tour, though? Their tour when it comes to Chicago?
If someone wants to contribute to my JayZ Beyonce fund, I mean, I would love to go, but I also too, I like seeing live music at smaller venues, so it has to be like someone I'm dying to see. Like I really want to see Childish Gambino, and I don't love the fact that it's at United Center, but I think I might have to suck it up and do it. But I don't know. We'll see.
Because are they going to be at United Center, I think?
Oh, they always are.
Is that where they'll be?
Unless they go to like Soldier Field.
The thing about I might see them at Soldier Field. The thing about them is it's them, which they're huge, but I know some are all of the dates. Chloe and Halle, who I know you've probably still not listened to the album.
Sorry. One day I'll get to it.
Okay.
Who?
Chloe and Halle. They're sisters from the show Grownish. Put out this album. Incredible. I'll send it to you.
What do they go? They go by that?
Yeah,
Chloe
that's it. Chloe,
okay.
and then it's like a
plus?
like a sideways, like a times Halle. I'll show you.
Okay.
They're so cute. They're incredible singers. So I saw something that they were going to be on the tour, and that excited me like as much as everything.
As the opener?
Yeah, something with them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big deal to open for JayZ and Beyonce.
That's
like,
sad.
it doesn't get any better than that.
If they picked them to open, that means they must be the real deal.
Yep.
They are the real deal.
I'll check it out. I'm busy.
It's been
hard
months.
to keep up with all the... It's hard. All the music that comes out weekly, it's overwhelming.
I tell B.Hun to listen to a song or an album. It takes months, and he wants me to start watching 5 new shows a week.
Yeah, you got to watch the 4 on 5. That show's amazing. And you got to watch Big Brother when it comes out. Because I will talk about it on the show myself if I have to. Yes.
That's like so
2018.
2018.
Yes, it's awesome. I love that show. But that's another topic for another day. So we appreciate it. But it's been awesome having you on the show, Jenna.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys are so fun.
You are amazing.
Thanks for the champagne.
Oh yeah.
I know. And to be on for our 50th episode is very, very big too.
When we were talking about weeks and our schedule and you being on, it was like maybe a month ago, and I was counting the weeks, and I was like, wait, Jenna's on the 20th, and B was like, yeah. I was like, that's the 50th. We'll be in the studio. We'll get champagne, and so it was really fun to have you.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. So before we get out of here, we're actually going to do our favorite segment called Clown of the Week. But before we do that, I do need to announce briefly the Adult Swim thing coming up. You almost forgot about that too. So briefly, I do want to announce that Adult Swim, for all those on Comedy Central that love Comedy Central, a show that's been on for quite a bit, they're actually returning to Chicago soon for the Adult Swim on the Green tour presented by Geico. So Adult Swim, they're back. They're bringing you a special night of delight. They're coming to town to do like experience full of games, friendships, prizes as well. So they actually have a tour that they go from every city. They do like outside of like their stadium and like the green area. So they're actually coming to Chicago. They're going to be at Soldier Field on Thursday, June 28th. Basically, you can like vote for your favorite episodes, like Beer and Wine Garden. They have an exclusive merchandise section, local vendors that'll be there. It's actually going to be hosted by Zach Fox, who actually is on Comedy Central, who actually is on Adult Swim as well too. Super cool guy as well. So he's going to be the host for it. You can buy vouchers only for $10. So you can go to the website. It's adultswim.com/presents/on-the-green. So they're actually going to be at Soldier Field once again on Thursday, June 28th. At Soldier Field on the green. Tickets are just $10. It'll be a great time, full of events. You can heckle Zach all you want. Tell him that Alternative Facts Chicago sent you. And it actually should be a great event. They're actually on a tour right now, and it seems to be doing great at every city that they go to. So we're going to be in the house, so we can't wait to see you all there.
It's going to be a really fun night. So that's pretty exciting that that's coming here. Just a couple cities that they chose. So as usual, Chicago gets the most cool things. So that's awesome.
Summertime Shy is the best in the world.
Summertime Shy.
And we're just getting started.
I know. How is it only the end of June? It is busy. It's the end of June, and we're looking at our weekends like it is busy. So now I guess we get on to our clown of the week, Gabby.
Let's do it. I think you should go first. Unless you want me to go first this time.
Oh, no, I'll go first.
There you go.
Then you can try to top me. My clown of the week, earlier in the episode, we talked about the World Cup. First of all, I want to let our listeners know before we get to Clown of the Week, we are actively choosing not to engage in any of the conversation about what's going on at the United States and Mexico border. It is too long and too deep of a conversation for us to have in an episode where we don't have enough time to properly cover everything. So we are not ignoring it. It's important. It's important that we're talking about it and we're aware. It's just not something that we can give the proper attention today.
Absolutely.
So we just wanted everyone to know that we are not ignoring it. It is important to us. But on to the clown of the week. Let's lighten the mood a little. And my clown of the week is Russia. And today my clown of the week is Russia because Russia is hosting the World Cup. And it has now been reported that they are already running out of beer. Listen, Russia, we know you like vodka. We know you drink your vodka all year round, stay warm in the winter. But the rest of the world is there for the biggest party in the world, and you didn't know they were going to want to drink beer? It's been reported some cities have completely run out of beer. Other restaurants have been running out. Different places say it's taking longer than usual to get their supply. Some of the people speaking out say that they were working at restaurants and they want to stay anonymous because they're fearing retaliation or that people won't come to their restaurants. So, Russia, for you to throw this party for the World Cup is just typical that you would ruin it and run out of beer. For that, you are the clown of the week.
That's a funny clown of the week there, too.
It's ridiculous.
How the heck do you run out of beer?
How do you run out of beer? And you know what? Big ups to all the people who drank them out of beer because you're clearly having a good time.
Amazing time. Hey, like I said, Russia, they got a lot going on. If they somehow pull this off, man, I don't want to see what's going to happen to that country. But so far, so good. They got to make sure they restock on beer for the next couple of weeks because the World Cup goes for a while. I think it goes through the end of the month, so it's not over.
Listen, Budweiser, Coors Light, Goose Island, if you're listening, help Russia out. Let those people get some beer and let them enjoy the rest of their party.
Absolutely. So that is a good clown of the week. My clown of the week is a guy who almost wasn't going to do this, but I think with the way his career has gone in the NBA the past few years, I think he actually deserves this one. And I actually think he's a cool person to hang out with, but his career derailed when he decided to make some bad decisions back in around like 2011, 2012. So my clown of the week, and I'll explain why, it goes to NBA center Dwight Howard. Now, this guy used to be the man in the NBA. I think in 2011, he reached a peak of 23 points per game, 14 plus rebounds per game, the number one center in the league by far and away. Then he started having some problems with his team, Orlando, where he was actually going to be a legend outside next to Shaq for like the best center that they've ever had there. Started to cause some problems, ended up out of there. ended up at the Lakers. Didn't get along with Kobe Bryant. Obviously it's easy to not get along with Kobe Bryant, but Kobe Bryant is a GOAT, one of the best of all times. You should make it work there. It didn't work there as well, and he got sent up out of the Los Angeles Lakers. He wasn't there anymore. Since then, he's actually been traded to not one, not two, not three, but he actually got traded to his fourth team in only 4 seasons today. He actually got traded to the Brooklyn Nets, the place in the NBA where your career actually goes to die. If the Charlotte Hornets don't want you, it's almost a bad sign for you in your career that it's almost time to retire. If Charlotte trades you to Brooklyn, there's almost no coming back from that. So Dwight Howard, you get the crown of the week because when you were in Orlando, you were a G, you were a legend in waiting, and you had it all made. And now Atlanta Hawks didn't want you. Houston didn't want you. Charlotte didn't want you. You're just getting traded around because your salary is too high, and honestly, you're just not as valuable. You still average 16 points a game, 12 rebounds a game, which is cool, but for the amount of money that you make, you're not getting that same value. So they're going to send you to the Brooklyn Nets where you can make that money, and they're going to be in last place with or without you. And that just shows, unfortunately, where your career has gone. So you do have a lot of money. You got a ton of kids, so you need that money because child support for the rest of your life is going to be through the wazoo. So it's all good. Keep making that money, sir. But for now, you do get the clown of the week.
That's a good one. I'm mostly all the kids.
He does. He's got a boatload of kids. But, hey, as long as he's taking care of them and he's happy with them, hey, whatever floats your boat,
That's
sir.
That's right. But you're a clown.
This was an amazing episode. That was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of... Maybe it was the champagne. Maybe we should do champagne every episode.
There you go. And Jena was awesome. She's a great guest. It's good to get people who are from the city of Chicago to give them a spotlight to see what they're doing in all areas. He's actually the second fashion industry person. We've had the first woman. Obviously, we had Evan Marshall from High Fashion Living. I think he was on like episode 6. So we tried to switch it up, and we're glad to have her on the show. She did a great job.
Yeah, she was awesome. So hopefully everybody will follow her and keep up as her brand changes and grows, as she evolves from fashion maybe to lifestyle and health and wellness and things like that. So she has a lot to offer and obviously is representing the city of Chicago in an amazing way, and she's a ton of fun. So
once again, we thank you all for being part of Alternative Facts Chicago for episode 50 that we've had. Obviously, we got 50 more and beyond to go. We made a lot of announcements today. We do have a couple more announcements to come that we cannot announce officially as of yet. We will be back next week with more to come. It's just been a great ride. I'm actually just pretty amazed at where we are. Pretty awe-inspired by where we are because, I don't know, you just never see a lot of things when you started from nothing and grow to where it is. And we've had a lot of success in just over a year. And to see where we could even go just from only being a year is pretty incredible to see.
And we couldn't do any of it without everyone who's listened. Some changes to the show, some changes to the way things are done. So thank you everyone who listens, who continues to listen, who's starting to listen. We appreciate you so much. We love talking to you. We love getting your feedback. So please continue to send it to us. You are truly what makes this fun for us. So we record for an hour or so every week, but then the whole next week, getting to talk to people, hearing their opinions and their input is really what makes it enjoyable. So thank you so much for listening.
Absolutely. So make sure you check us out on Wild Dogs Radio every Thursday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That's www.wilddogsradio.com. You can always hear our show on their platform. Also 24/7 Live Culture, we're on their platform as well too. A host of other platforms that host our show. The podcast community and Potter family is great on social media too. So we thank you all for listening, for the support, and this is literally only the beginning. So anything else? Because I know we need to get up out of here.
No, just thank you, everyone. Thank you, B.Hun, for having me, for keeping me.
Yeah.
I don't know who has the patience to deal with me, but he has so far.
Some days are rougher than others, but I still love you, though.
This is true.
It's so all good. We make a great team, and obviously the fans and our family and everyone who listens to the show definitely agrees. So you're definitely here to stay.
All right.
All right. So this is B.Hun with B.Chan. This is Alternative Facts Chicago, episode 50. 50 more and beyond to go. But for now, we're going to get up out of here.
Peace.
Bye.